Welcome back to the sixth episode. Sixth.
Numero 6.
Episode of the Babbling Bozos podcast. I am Joey.
And I am Zach. And we just finished recording our week 1 predictions for the NFL.
Watch it.
Season. We're very excited for the NFL season. We're going to talk about some of our predictions for NFL. But before we do that, I just want to run down because there were some signings in the NHL. First, we have Jake Ottinger, goalie for the Stars, gets a 3-year, $4 million per year deal. Sam Gagne and signs with Winnipeg on a cheap deal.
I was sad he left the Red Wings.
Ryan Murray leaves the Avalanche, goes to Edmonton, 1 year, $750K. Then we have 3 pretty big signings. JT Miller, 7-year extension with Vancouver Canucks.
How old is
$8 million per year. I think he's like 27 or 28.
I swear I thought that man was old a long time ago.
No, he's a stud though. He's very good. And then Kirby Dack, he re-signed with Chicago on a pretty team friendly bridge deal, 4 years, $3.36 million per year. And then last but not least, Tim Stützle re-signed with Ottawa, 8 years, $8 million per. So
that's a fat deal.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's looked pretty good. I mean, that contract, they're not signing that for right now. They're projecting that he's going to be worth that maybe in a couple of years. But he does look like he will be very good.
Mm-hmm.
So if
any of those particularly important to you, make you go.
JT Miller is a guy that I really like. As a Penguins fan, I kind of wanted him, but I knew we weren't going to get him because we don't really have cap space. Stützle, I do like. Kirby Dack.
Contracts at this point just mean nothing to me. So, like, obviously, I'm going to miss Sam Gagne. Great Red Wing, great guy as a whole, but, like,
I feel like he's definitely a replaceable.
Oh, yeah. It was more just, like, his presence.
That's fair.
Can't replace presence, you know?
Well, we're going to have to do that next year as Orioles fans.
No, we're not.
Mm-hmm.
Nuh-uh. Who are we replacing?
We're not keeping both of Odor and
we're going to keep Rugi.
Hopefully he rides the bench.
Yeah, I saw there's actually they discussed this. There's a good chance that he gets a small extension.
Hopefully he rides the bench. I wish there was a way he could just be like a coach.
No, but he's like a pitching coach.
Any type of coach.
Yeah, just put him as a pitching coach because he helps the pitchers out the most.
It doesn't have to be the pitching coach that comes out for the mound visit, though. It can be any coach.
Did you see, obviously, you were watching the game yesterday. This really should be for Orioles Chat, but I want to say this now because I'll forget later. He literally, he ran in front of the whole crowd when and they all stopped behind him.
He was like, him and Jorge Mateo were also holding back Vlad.
Yeah, Jorge Mateo was holding Vlad and Teoscar Hernandez.
Yeah.
And he was like holding. One tried to he grabbed his jersey.
Yeah, Teoscar's jersey came off and he started. Yeah,
it was funny though. I saw a meme. I don't remember what the exact meme, but it was something about because Rugi ran in front of the whole Blue Jays bench and he did this, and all of them stopped on a dime. Every single person did not cross his arm.
Nobody wants to smoke with Rugi, bro. They seen what he did to Jose.
Bro, and on Twitter there were so many memes. Like it was like, I know all you Orioles fans were out there cheering for Rugi to throw a haymaker.
Actually, no, I don't like seeing punches thrown, especially in baseball.
I saw it after the fact, but I would have loved to have seen after the fact Rugi just knocked out Vlad Jr. I like Vlad Jr., but it would have been so funny.
Dude, in a real fight, I think Vlad would whoop Rugi. He's way bigger, dude.
Jose Bautista was way bigger.
Yeah, but that was like a cheap shot, dude. Whoever swings first is going to get the advantage in that situation.
I guess so.
But I also think
Rugi's got that fire in him.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I said last week. He's kind of feisty.
He's got the fire.
Yeah, but I think Vlad's got a significant weight advantage on both Jose Bautista and Rougned Odor. So,
well, we can discuss this further later. What is our first topic?
So I think basically this is going to be kind of a shorter episode. We're mainly going to be giving our award predictions for both NFL and MLB. I think we should start with NFL because then we can go to MLB and then O's talk. So, plus, game 1's tomorrow night. I'm pretty excited for it. Like I said, that video for week 1 predictions should already be out when you're seeing this.
It'll be out probably tomorrow. Very
Thursday.
Early. Yeah. I don't know how I want to do the video. I'll discuss this afterwards, I guess, with you. I don't know how I want to like show like our picks, or should it be less edited, more edited? But we'll discuss that later.
Okay. So first award is the NFL MVP.
I'm not you little jerk. Looking at my screen all last week when I did the freaking...
That's because it was the fantasy. I wanted to see what I just wanted to see.
I don't care enough either way. Continue.
Okay, so I'll let you go first because I have two guys, and if you say one of them, I'll say
my pick. Okay, I assume my pick here is one of your guys.
Okay.
My pick is Lamar Jackson.
Okay. See, that was one of them, so I'll go with my other one.
I actually do think Lamar. Especially coming from me, this means something because I'm a Lamar hater. I think he'll have a big bounce back year if he plays the whole year. Obviously, injury matters, but I think he's going to have a really big bounce back.
Well, he's
year.
also in
a
contract year. He's got something to prove too. I feel like, not that he has something to prove, but he's definitely got the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the motivation.
He has something to prove. Not for like. It's like in a different sense.
He has.
I think he's going to prove to himself.
Yeah, well, and like just like show the haters why he deserves the money.
Yeah. That's what I mean by
like,
prove to
like
himself.
Obviously,
it's like
we all know. Obviously, we all know he's a great player. Like he doesn't have anything to prove in that sense. At least not to me. But yeah. So for me, it was between Lamar, who was one of my guys, and then because I didn't want to seem too biased, I had another guy. Just in case. And honestly, I thought you were going to say this guy, and I was going to say Lamar.
No, it makes more sense that I say Lamar. I'm the less biased one here for the Ravens.
So I went with Justin Herbert. Now, does that mean I think the Chargers are going to have a great season? Possibly. I think that this Herbert is the type of guy where he go out, throw 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, 10 picks, great completion percentage, and they still miss the playoffs. With that being said, if they do make the playoffs and he has that kind of year, then
I feel like that's the year
Matt
Ryan won MVP, you know?
Yeah, so I mean, even if they don't make the playoffs, if he has that kind of year,
the playoffs don't matter for MVP.
He's still an MVP.
So, yeah.
Well, to me, it kind of does, because if you don't make I guess not, but it's the most valuable player to your team. So I mean, if you don't make the playoffs, I mean,
if they imagine that they lose like in constant blowouts or not blowouts, sorry, shootouts, like it's not his fault. Like what if they lose every game like 35-42? He throws 5 touchdowns every game.
I mean, then he's definitely winning the MVP.
Yeah, exactly. But like, he can't. He may not make playoffs then, but he can't do anything about that. But yeah, I mean, he's got Justin Herbert.
For me, it's one of those things where I always saw people in the media talking about how Lamar couldn't get it done in the playoffs, and where I feel like that's an unfair standard. So I'm kind of being the thing I hate the most, which is the media like blaming quarterbacks for something that's not necessarily their fault. But I just do it because obviously I'm a biased Ravens fan who loves Lamar. So when they hold him to that unfair standard and not other guys, I feel like, hey, like what's up with that? So that's kind of why, going back to that quarterback ranking video, that's why I kind of was slandering Herbert and
I'm gonna have
Kyler
like
as
you
well.
know, like when they like put the gray like the gray filter over people, and then they show like things they said in the past that like contradict themselves. I'm gonna have like a whole reel of you.
When did I contradict myself?
Because you technically, obviously, you said you would have put Lamar if I didn't say Lamar, but you said Herbo is going to be the MVP, but you said Lamar is better than Herbo.
Just because, yeah, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
so
you said earlier it didn't make any sense either. So let's keep moving.
Wait, hold on. If
you have actually contradicted yourself in our podcast.
You can think that a guy is better than another guy and they still win MVP.
Of course.
Like, who's better, Kevin Durant or Giannis?
That's hard. Are we talking healthy?
Yes.
That was a bad example.
Okay.
That was a really bad example.
Okay. Who won MVP?
Who is better, Kevin Durant?
Who won NBA MVP last year?
Jokic.
Okay. Do you want Jokic or Giannis?
I don't know.
Do you want Jokic or Kevin Durant?
They're both really good.
Do you want Jokic or LeBron James?
I'd be happy with all these people.
Okay, that's how I feel about Herbert and Lamar and Joe Burrow.
Was I meant to pick someone in all of these examples?
Yeah, you can. I'm saying it's opinion. Who do you think's better? I think Lamar's better than Herbert, but if Herbert puts up 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards,
Jokic,
MVP of the season. It doesn't mean that
Jokic and Giannis are the same person. like they're big, scary dudes that just overpower people.
But I think Giannis like handles the ball more. Like Jokic is a good passer, but he doesn't like bring the ball up the court.
Yeah, but Jokic grabs boards better than Giannis.
Sure, but I'm just saying that's why I'm saying they're not that similar. Like they are, but they're not.
Yeah, but like I obviously know this wasn't the point, but in the NBA, when you're at like that tier at the very top, it's really hard to choose between.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, they're both young too, or young enough.
That's like saying like when Kevin Durant and LeBron were at their peaks, would you rather have Kevin Durant or LeBron?
Well, that's one of those things where it's like depends on what you need. I guess I'd probably go with LeBron just because I feel like he's probably all around a better player. So I'd probably go with him.
But if you need like a sniper,
if you just need like a scorer, then yeah, I'm going Kevin Durant. But yeah. But yeah, that's kind of another point that's came up, unintentionally. It's like it's one of those things where it's like you can't go wrong with any of the good young quarterbacks in the NFL. There's a bunch of great young quarterbacks right now. I feel like this is kind of unprecedented. Like when is the last time we had this many good, talented young quarterbacks?
Well, I feel like we weren't old enough to know that because there was a period where you had Brady, Manning, you had Breeze, Roethlisberger, all extremely young at the same time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just that when we became football fans, they were in the league, they were established, so it was really harder for younger people to move in.
I feel like this right now hasn't happened since then. Like there was like a big gap of time when there was like.
Well, that's because they all had the starting spots,
but there was still teams that needed quarterbacks though.
Yeah.
And like there was a lot of busts. Like Jake Locker was he was a first round pick, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Mariota, obviously I said he's not that bad, but he's definitely
missed the biggest bust of all time, dude.
Well, but he's not from that era.
What?
Are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
The biggest bust of all time happened in between that era and this era. Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Number 1 pick, that sucked.
I mean, Ryan Leaf was he? He was like second overall or something, right? Or he was a first round pick.
I don't know if he was first or second.
He was
first or second?
Was he picked before Peyton Manning? Though?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think he was picked before Peyton.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jamarcus Russell was hyped up to be like the next go.
Yeah. But there's like a bunch of bust quarterbacks between then and now.
Gabbert, Russell.
Yeah. Actually Jake Locker might have been
Ponder.
I don't think Ponder was a first round pick, was he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I know was Andy Dalton wasn't a first round pick, right?
I don't know, but I wouldn't call Andy Dalton a bust.
I mean, if he was a first, he definitely didn't live up to the first round pick.
He made the playoffs with the team a few times.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't say he's like a horrible player, but anyway, we're getting sidetracked. I did put coach of the year if you want to give your prediction for that.
You talk about yours. Let me think about that one for a second.
Okay, so I just went with Nathan Hackett, who's the coach for the Denver Broncos, because I feel like they have a shot to make some noise this year, and they were pretty bad last year. Even if it's not necessarily him, it probably mostly will be due to the addition of Russ. It feels like coach of the year is just most improved team with whoever the coach is of that team. So that's why I went with Denver.
I'm going to pick, I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to take Mike McDaniel. It's another situation where they're going to be a very improved team. I was going to say John Harbaugh because we sucked last year technically.
That's fair.
But I don't really want to be a very biased person here. But it does feel like another year we could do extremely well and then we end up here. But Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins will be my. Did you not realize he was Dolphins?
I just couldn't remember what team he was. There's too many McDaniels. There's Josh McDaniels as well.
Yeah, that's my pick, the Dolphins coach. It's another situation where they added a bunch of good pieces, so there'll be a big boost.
Wow, that's a contradiction to yourself because you said the Dolphins were going to be bad earlier. You said they weren't that good.
I didn't say they were.
Well, that's I'm using your logic.
I think they'll be meh.
Assistant coach of the year. We don't have to talk about.
You can say yours. Go ahead. You already picked it. I'm not going to pick one, but you can say it.
I went with Wes Phillips. He's the Minnesota Vikings offensive coordinator.
I don't know who that is.
Honestly, I didn't know who it was either. I literally Googled Minnesota Vikings offensive coordinator. That's who I think is going to be the. I think actually he might have. I don't know if he came from the Rams or what, but apparently
he did.
Yeah, because I've heard they're going to be using like the Rams scheme. Like Jefferson's going to be there, Cooper Kupp.
Oh wait, no, it was the Vikings coach that came from the Rams. Who's the Vikings coach now? I don't know. I think it's like O'Connell or something. I don't remember. I don't know the coaches this well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes. Head coach. Yeah, you're right.
Kevin O'Connell. He came from the Rams. He may have sniped Wes Phillips. I don't know. But yeah,
But I think their offense is going to be
That's
so
cool.
good that I think it's just going to be him.
I couldn't name a single coordinator other than ours. And
I actually almost went with our defensive coordinator for that. Because I think we have good.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I think we have good
There's too many
personnel.
Mikes. Oh my God.
There's too many Micks.
Mick.
Okay, next we'll go with offensive player of the year. I'll let you go first.
Offensive player of the year.
Or do you want me to go first since I already have it?
You go first.
Okay, I have Justin Jefferson.
You always go first.
I have Justin Jefferson, kind of continuing the theme of Minnesota.
I did look over in Sawyer's, and that's why I froze.
What? Because
I was gonna say Jay Jettis, and then
I mean, you could pick the same.
No, I would pick Justin Jefferson because obviously everyone's hyping up to be so good here. I'm gonna say Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is gonna have a big year this year for some reason. I really was thinking about taking him in fantasy at 5. And I feel like offensive player of the year is a running back a lot of the time, just because it's whoever really.
Last year was Cooper Kupp, I believe.
It wasn't Jonathan Taylor.
No, it was Cooper Kupp because MVP was Rodgers and Kupp won offensive player of the year.
But I think Joe Mixon will have a really big year this year if he can stay healthy. So I'll go against the receiver trend that just happened. Not really a trend now, I guess.
Yeah.
But
okay, defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. We're gonna take Jalen Ramsey.
Did you look at mine for that?
No, I did not. Did you pick Jalen Ramsey?
Yes, I actually did.
I'm not picking Jalen Ramsey. He's taking.
I could switch off of him. I just got to think of somebody else.
No, you take Jalen Ramsey. I'll think something else. Let's talk about Jalen Ramsey.
I mean, he's a stud. He can do it all. He's a great corner. I mean, he can play man to man. He can play zone.
It's not even the first person who came to my mind, but I didn't want to say.
He's a playmaker. I mean, what can't that guy do? You know
who the first person that came to my mind was?
Marlon Humphrey.
Marcus Peters.
See, dude, you know who I almost picked for this?
Who?
I almost picked Trayvon Diggs. Not because I think he's great, but because I think he'll have a lot of interceptions. And I think that might be a reason for them to
Marcus
vote
Peters
for him.
could be the comeback player of the year.
That was a shout. He was one of the guys I thought about for that.
Honestly, I'm just gonna pick a Raven for comeback player of the
Dude,
year.
that's what I did too. Yeah. Okay.
We had a bunch of injuries.
Who is your defensive player of the year then?
Defensive player of the year.
Last year I think was TJ Watt.
It was TJ Watt last year.
Yeah.
I feel like it very easily could just be TJ Watt again. Or it could be defensive player of the year. It's always like a pass rusher. So I feel like
it could be Myles Garrett.
I feel like
suspended.
I'm gonna go Aaron Donald because it's just so easy just to say Aaron Donald
by default.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But it's realistically gonna be TJ Watt, Aaron Donald, or Myles Garrett. It's gonna be one of 3. They're all in their prime.
Or Jalen Ramsey.
I don't see it happening now that I think about it.
It's usually just whoever leads the league in sacks. To be honest.
Yeah, that's true. It could be Chandler Jones this year. Especially considering you're going to have Max Crosby on one side and Chandler Jones on the other side. That's dangerous. Okay, so what's the next thing?
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. So for me, when I did this, I was just looking at the draft, right? And there's a lot of defensive studs early, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just scrolling through the first round. I mean, you got Drake London, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Chris Olave, guys like that. So I actually ended up choosing Chris Olave. That's who I think is going to put up the best numbers because I like his situation the best. So that's who I went with.
I kind of want to pick George Pickens.
For me, I just don't know how much volume he's going to get. That's
I feel like
my issue.
I've seen that he can quickly take to the number 2 spot. And
I just
the
also
Steelers have
don't
shown
love his
that they really help young receivers.
Sure. I mean, he's on a team that develops receivers well. The issue is the situation as a whole. The quarterback's a question mark, in my opinion. You already have an established one. You have a high volume running back who I think could lose some of that volume, but he'll still get a lot of touches. And the O-line is kind of a question mark as well. So
my pick is either, I'm going to have like a slash here. I'm going to take either George Pickens or Breece Hall will win it. Or actually, no, let's take Breece Hall. Or / Damian Pierce. One of those 3 will win it. I don't think it'll be any of the big receivers.
If we're doing slash, then I'll do Chris Olave / Drake London.
He's slashing the big receivers, and I'm slashing the big running backs.
I like Chris Olave's situation.
George Pickens is my number 1 pick. That's my answer.
My number 1 pick is Chris Olave.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson. That's my answer.
Yeah, okay. That's like an obvious one, you know? Like he was
eaten up in the preseason. That's so I can't pick off of that.
Who was first overall? It was a Georgia pass rusher. I forgot his name.
I forgot his name too.
I literally just looked this up earlier too, so it's kind of embarrassing.
He came out the cut as the number 1 pick. He wasn't like someone who was like sitting at the top the whole time.
So yeah, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson was an option for me to choose.
He was eaten up.
I also thought about Sauce. Kayvon Thibodeau was another option.
Who was the first pick?
It was
Trayvon Walker. Oh my! I would never have thought of that.
Yeah. So, but since I didn't pick Lamar Jackson for MVP, you already know how to go with my guy Kyle Hamilton, who a lot of people were saying was a very talented guy and fell because safety is not a valued position. So I think there's a chance that he could win it.
Even though it's not a valued position.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's the best rookie, then
yeah, but he could be the best rookie and still not win it because he doesn't have the most of a stat.
That's who my pick is, dude.
Of course.
I mean, hey, another guy that could be a shout is Jordan Davis. I don't know how good he was in the preseason, but
I feel like Aiden Hutchinson has the inside route at this point. I'm sure he's the betting odds favorite.
Yeah, probably. He does seem like he's the best one.
He was eaten up in the preseason. I'll give him that.
I had to go with my guy, Kyle.
Is there any other NFL awards?
Yes. Comeback Player of the Year. So for me, I just went Lamar Jackson / Marlon Humphrey.
It's just like the easy, like Lamar. Isn't Lamar the biggest name that got hurt last year?
Probably. I think Lamar's kind of a shoo-in for this if he stays healthy the whole year.
It's so hard not to pick like a rate. I'll take Marcus Peters just because I don't want to take Lamar too. But like, it's just that the Ravens lost the most big names, so I feel like it's pretty much a shoo-in.
I literally put Lamar / Marlon Humphrey, and I even thought about / Marcus Peters as well. So I wouldn't be shocked.
It'll be a Raven.
One of those three probably. Whoever stays healthy.
J.K. Dobbins is a shout. It really could be J.K.
If he's the best performing. I think that Lamar probably has the best shot.
I saw one of those TikToks that's like, look no further for the next blah blah blah, and they're like, the next CMC is J.K. Dobbins.
That is a take I've ever heard.
I would be angry.
I mean, if he putting up 1,000 on the ground and 1,000 through the air, you would not catch me complaining. Okay, so that's pretty much it for NFL award predictions.
Also, I want to say who I said to say this. I didn't put it down. Who's your dark horse team this year?
Oh, Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Dark horse?
Super Bowl dark horse.
I'll let you go first because I don't want to steal your thunder.
I was thinking, okay, so my issue is I don't necessarily know that this is a dark horse team because they're obviously a very good team, but I was going to say the Broncos because they're a really good team.
They're literally a horse.
They're a very good team, but I mean, they're the worst team in that division, in my opinion. Like if you're just like looking at the rosters,
I think it's the Raiders, but
the point is they're not like a betting favorite to win their division. So I feel like they'll have to overcome a lot to win the division as well. So if I had to pick a team that I feel like isn't looked at too great right now compared to their other teams in the division, probably be the Broncos.
For me, I could stick with the horse theme and go with the Colts, but I'm not going
that'd
to.
Be a good shout.
I do think they're a dark horse to win.
The Colts are a good pick.
But
the Colts too. They're up there.
I think
in the NFC, what's another one?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of, an NFC team. Maybe
Saints. Not a chance.
Maybe
would the Cardinals be a dark horse?
Potentially. I don't know if the 49ers would count as a dark horse. I mean, they kind of are.
I feel like anybody who's not like the leading favorite of their division is a dark horse.
Also, like, well, I don't know.
Like, I wouldn't even say the Vikings are because they're a favorite at this point.
The Eagles.
They're a favorite of their division.
But they're definitely not a favorite to win the NFC by any stretch.
Yeah. It's like a borderline. Dark horse is a weird thing, but we said a few good teams. I mean, is there any divisions you can see like a random team winning somehow?
I mean, if the Colts, you can consider it. If you consider it, well, they're kind of their favorites. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could argue the Titans could win that division. I think the Bengals are technically the favorites to win the AFC North, so I could say the Ravens. But I feel like the Ravens are kind of more established because I feel like last year the Bengals kind of took advantage of the amount of injuries.
Yeah.
Although they did like
We were hurt both
destroy
times.
us though. I mean, Marlon Humphrey was still healthy, and so was Lamar in that one game when
Yes,
Jamar
but
Chase went crazy.
you don't have any of our corners basically the first game.
Marlon Humphrey was there.
I know, but I'm saying Marlon Humphrey was the only corner we
Oh,
had.
yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, like,
So we hit that point. That was at that point of the year where Marlon was our only corner, so he literally looked terrible because he played 100% of snaps, which no corner should ever do.
Marlon, and we still had Lamar too. I feel like Ronnie Stanley being out was also very big. I mean, it's an all-pro tackle that you're missing.
I feel like Marcus Peters was the biggest because like
definitely bigger than
it made
the
Marlon play
backs.
way too much.
Marcus Peters was definitely bigger than either JK or Gus.
Like I've honestly never seen a player look so gassed and still being forced to just keep going.
I mean, you don't have a choice.
He was screwed. There was no other player. We just didn't have anybody on the roster. Like even if they wanted to give him a break, there was just no one to play the position.
Yeah.
I guess that's all we have for the NFL now. Like we said, excited for the season. We have our picks in a video that will be out before this, so you can see our picks, and we will move on to the MLB mold.
Yes. So I think we'll just start with the AL.
AL MVP. Do you want to say yours first?
Sure.
Or are we both saying the same thing?
Sure. I got Aaron Judge.
The pick is Aaron Judge.
I feel like it's obvious.
It's not obvious because Shohei, as we said last time.
Shohei is definitely a shout, but I think Aaron Judge just Yankees. I feel like he's just, when you play for the Yankees and you're having the season he has, it's hard to not.
Yeah, I feel like I saw someone on Twitter say this, and I felt it a little bit. Everyone's like, the people who are picking Shohei are just picking him because he can pitch too.
Yeah,
which like, okay,
I mean, but
it's amazing that he can do both. But like, I'm not overlooking.
Elite, and he's elite.
Yeah, I just can't overlook a guy who's going to hit over 60 home runs, and he literally is the definition of an MVP. You take Aaron Judge off the Yankees, they're not winning the division.
They're probably not a playoff team at this point.
Yeah,
and you take Shohei off the team,
they still suck.
They're just way worse.
They suck still.
Yeah. Cy Young.
Dude,
I went with the ageless wonder, Justin Verlander. But there are some other good options in there.
I would pick Manoah. I think Manoah's had a pretty big year.
Justin Verlander was the only guy in the AL.
I think Verlander's like the obvious pick.
He's like the only guy with a sub-2 ERA. Like,
I agree nuts. He will win, but like I want to obviously
be different. Yeah,
I'll go Manoah. He pulls it out somehow.
Okay.
I like Manoah. He's got a little spunk to him, even though he's a little stupid yesterday for what they did. But we'll move away from that. NL.
No, not NL. There's still Rookie of the Year and some other stuff too.
Oh, I thought we were just doing MVP, or MVP Cy Young, MVP Cy Young.
I feel like we should just go down the whole.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Rookie of the Year.
It's gonna be Julio.
Yeah, I think it'll be Julio.
Adley just had too late of a start.
Actually, no, it's not gonna be Julio. It's not gonna be.
It's gonna be. Adley.
It's not gonna be Adley.
It's gonna be Stephen Kwan.
Nope, it's not gonna be Stephen Kwan.
Oh, sorry, it's gonna be Gunnar Henderson.
Nope. It's going to be Felix Bautista. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be Julio Rodriguez.
I feel like Felix Bautista should get the second most votes.
He should be in the conversation, but like nobody talks about him. He's having a fantastic year.
He's probably the best closer this year after
Clase.
No. I was going to say after. Diaz? No, I'm not going to say like an actual good closer. I was going to say after Clay Holmes fell to bits.
Oh, but
Holmes was like the odds favorite at the midseason.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna be honest. I don't think Felix Bautista wins AL reliever of the year.
Oh, he could.
He could, but I don't think he will. Okay, we'll go to manager of the year. For AL, I already know what you're gonna say for this.
Brandon Hyde.
Yeah, I went with Brandon Hyde. I like the chance of him winning just because of what the O's have done this year from where they were last year. They lost 100 games last year, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're the first team. I told you, we're the first team ever we will be the first time ever to lose 100 games to win 73-plus games. There's only 6 ever that lost 100 and won 70.
That is impressive. But I also think another shout for it is Scott Servais, the manager for the Mariners. They were pretty bad last year, not as bad as us, but they are, at this point, I think they're a solid, 6 games ahead of us at this point.
Honestly, I don't even think that the Mariners manager is the second choice. I would say Cash is. Because the Rays are storming to the AL East, and they're so hurt.
Yeah. That's a good shout, too. That's a good shout. But I do
honestly, if they win the division, I wouldn't be mad if they gave it to them.
Did he win it last year?
I think so, yeah. But I mean, after what he's done with that team, that's literally. I think they have
that's a fair shout.
It's honestly like I'm a Cash hater, but it's so impressive that they're even.
Yeah, he does.
They're storming.
He
for
is
the
a
division.
little questionable on his decision making sometimes, Kevin Cash.
But that team has no business being close to the division. And
the Yankees kind of helped him out by falling off a cliff.
Yeah, but they're still playing extremely.
But some of that was because of the Rays, because they did play each other in the Rays.
And it's this part of the year where you expect the Rays to struggle the most because they still don't have anyone. They're actually playing their best. So
that's true.
That says a lot about the manager.
Is Glasnow back yet or no? Because I saw they signed. They actually gave him a contract, so I was assuming
honestly,
he'd
be back. No clue who's still playing for the Rays at this point.
No, because he didn't sign because he was injured, and then I recently saw that they signed him, but I don't know if he's pitched or if he's making rehab starts or what's happening with him right now. I really don't know.
Mm-hmm. We need Ben Acker on the podcast to tell us that.
Okay, so then we have AL Comeback Player of the Year. This one's kind of obvious.
Mike Trout.
Yeah, that's who I chose too. Mike Trout. Reliever of the year for me, I said Felix Bautista / because that's my O's bias. But if I went with my realistic guess, I think it's gonna be Emmanuel Clase for AL reliever of the year.
Do you know what his ERA is?
It's better than Felix's.
Is his stats? I feel like what is he have, more saves or something?
More saves, and
saves are irrelevant to me in this scenario because obviously Felix Bautista wasn't a closer the whole time.
But he's got a 1.09 ERA, 57 2/3 innings pitched, 59 strikeouts, a sub .7.
Give me Felix Bautista.
He's got 31 saves. I think he's got 31 saves in 33 opportunities. I think that's.
Give me Felix Bautista.
Let me just see. Where's blown saves?
Bautista is the only right choice here.
I can't find blown saves. But he's got 31 saves, and let's just come. I'm curious.
Well, 31 saves and 33 opportunities.
Well, I don't know I don't know if that's the right thing. I'm saying I think that's what I saw earlier, but I don't see it now.
It doesn't matter.
No, I want to compare him though. There was a way to compare.
My answer would be Bautista. That would be my answer. It's just Bautista screams phenom. This guy doesn't scream phenom, you know.
What are you?
It's saying? A rookie phenom.
Clase is literally younger than Felix Bautista.
Yeah, but he's not like him. It's more like Bautista's background that makes him.
Felix Bautista is having a great season, but Clase has had a better year. The only thing Felix has over him is innings pitched.
Honestly, I bet you more people know who Felix Bautista is than Clase.
No.
Yeah.
Not if they're a baseball fan. If you're in Baltimore, then sure.
Honestly, I've never even heard of Clase until you brought this up.
Are you kidding me?
And I watch a lot of baseball, so that was my standard.
How do you not know who Emmanuel Clase is?
Never heard of him.
Nuts. That is insane.
Also, I've never seen him on Twitter either. I've seen MLB post about Felix Bautista several times. So honestly, I'd be willing to bet a lot of money more people know Felix Bautista.
Emmanuel Clase's whip is significantly better than.
Felix I'm sure he's had a way better year, but I'm just saying I think.
Although Felix does have a better strikeout per 9.
By no means is it a hot take that more people know who Felix Bautista is solely because of his stature. I feel like the two most known closers this year, based on what's been posted, are Edwin Diaz and Felix Bautista.
Felix does have significantly more strikeouts.
That's just because I'm sure he's not the same style of pitcher.
I mean, Clase does throw.
Yeah, but he's throwing 102 every pitch.
But he's got a nasty cutter that's also 100 miles per hour too. He throws hard and he's nasty.
I wish we had enough followers or viewers that we could put a poll. Did you know who what is his name?
Emmanuel Clase is? I cannot believe you don't know who that is. That's actually crazy to me.
I mean, I watch a lot of baseball, so.
You do?
I do. And I follow a lot of baseball, obviously. I had a whole baseball TikTok.
Yeah, so I don't know how you don't know who that is. So anyway, we'll move on to NL.
NL MVP. Darn it.
I mean, for me, it was either Paul Goldschmidt or Manny Machado, but I think Manny Machado kind of fell.
My answer now is Nolan Arenado.
Another Cardinal.
Well, I'm the two favorites, I'm pretty sure at the moment, are Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, for the odds favorites at least. I've seen for a while that they were up there, so Obviously, I would have picked Paul Goldschmidt, but I looked over and saw too much.
I think Goldschmidt leads the NL in average.
Doesn't he have over 100
RBIs.
RBIs already?
I'll tell you in a second. Paul Goldschmidt, he leads. Yeah, he has 107 RBIs.
Jesus. That's crazy.
Wow, Pete Alonso has 106.
I thought
RBIs.
Pete Alonso sucked.
And he's got, yeah. So Goldschmidt has 34 home runs, a 329 average, and 107 RBIs.
Where didn't he suck last year?
Goldschmidt?
Yeah, I
don't know,
because
he was like elite for a long time, and then he kind of fell off.
He had a really bad
so yeah,
year
he definitely like reemerged, but he also leads the MLB and OBP as well. Second in OPS, only behind Judge, but that's because like half of Judge's hits are home runs, probably.
Well, Judge doesn't get on base.
A home run counts as
I know, but he doesn't get on base.
I'm curious now to see what percentage of hits for Judge is a home run this season. Let's see. He's got 55 home runs and he's got 147 hits. So that's about a third.
Yeah.
A little over a third.
I mean, what percentage of it? How many at bats does he have?
487.
Oh, so wow. So that's literally like almost a ninth of his at-bats turn into home runs. That's insane, actually.
But what about plate appearances? How many times has he walked? This season, he has 82 walks and 13 intentional walks. So that's 95 walks. So that's like another 100 plate appearances. So, yeah, no, he's definitely – Judge is having a historic season.
Okay.
So we'll move on to Cy Young, NL Cy Young. How about you?
I just feel like this one is like an obvious pick.
I said it's Sandy Alcantara.
It's obvious. I can't even think of anybody who like challenges that remotely.
There are some guys. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah, but Sandy's been crazy.
Sandy the dog. Julio Urias is having a really good year. He leads the NL in ERA, and he's also, I think, second or third. He's third in wins. He's got more than Alcantara by 4. Although Alcantara does play for the Marlins, who are not as good as the Dodgers.
That's the first name that came to my mind.
Yeah,
Sandy. So.
There's also what's his name, Carlos Rodon. He's having a pretty good year too. Corbin Burns is a shout too.
I know the next category is Rookie of the Year, but I can't even think of any MLB rookies.
For the NL, it's literally just one guy. It's Spencer Strider. There's nobody else that's even close.
Is there really no other person?
No. He's like running away with it.
It's just a bunch of AL.
Yeah, no, it's like Julio, Adley, Kwan, Felix Bautista, and then in the NL it's literally Spencer Strider.
That's boring.
Well, he's also having a fantastic year himself, so it's warranted.
You don't have two fan bases arguing over who should win.
I mean, I feel like for the AL, it's just Cleveland. No, it's just Cleveland that's like whack about Kwan.
They're just so weird about Kwan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we'll move on to Manager of the Year.
Again, we'll probably have the same answer.
I mean, my O's bias is showing.
Yeah,
I went Buck Showalter.
Who's the manager of the Braves? I feel like that could be a shout.
Why? They literally just won the World Series last year.
Yeah, but they were down bad in the AL East, and they're tied for the East now.
Brian Snitker.
Yeah, it's just like I feel like the story of like how far they were behind, they've clawed all the way back to be tied at this moment. Could get it for him.
Yeah, I think Buck's probably the guy that'll get it though.
I mean, the Mets were bad last year.
No, the Mets were under 500 last year.
Yeah, but I would say that'd be like an off year for them. Usually, they're not a bad team.
Dude, the Mets are like always a team that has a good roster but doesn't do anything. So I think
the World Series a few years ago.
Like a few years ago. That was like 7 or 8 years ago. And they lost. They win or lose? No, they beat the Royals. Right?
No, they lost. The Royals won the World Series, dude.
Oh yeah. So the Mets, they didn't win. Yeah. So. Okay, next we have Comeback Player of the Year. I feel like it's another obvious one. I said Ron
Acuna, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to shake it.
And then Reliever of the Year, Edwin Diaz. I think is kind of a shoo-in for the NL.
Mm-hmm. I saw someone angry that they had that trumpet guy play.
Dude, that was lit. Yeah, but there's haters.
No, they were like, the second you had someone come and celebrate our season during the season, we were screwed.
People on the internet are whack. They'll find any reason to get mad about stupid things.
that's kind of the point of the internet, isn't it? Just get angry at things.
I guess.
And then when you want to find other people like you that are getting angry, that's really fun too.
Fair. That's all I had prepared for this podcast. I don't know if there's anything else. Oh, I guess we can talk about the
chat,
Orioles,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you forgot the Orioles. Our chat. I don't remember what we said. What, like 5-2?
So I believe
we did not go 5-2. No, we said 4-3.
Yeah, I believe it was 4-3. Which right now, if we win tonight, we would be 4-3.
Yeah, but we didn't do it the way that I wanted us to do it.
Doesn't matter. It's still 4-3. It just that losing both games of that doubleheader was
very
rough.
deflating.
Yeah, but if we win tonight, I feel like we kind of salvage the series, and then we have some easier. The next 5 games are should be easier. We got Boston for 3, and then Washington, and then we play Toronto again. The thing that I have kind of annoys me about our schedule is we have 3 days off in the next 8 days. And then we have no days off for the last 2.5, 3 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of rough. That's kind of what sucks.
It's a grind at the end of the year, you know.
Yeah, but that's kind of brutal.
I feel like if you get in a flow, it's not brutal. But if you're like kind of struggling at the start of it,
it just means that we're gonna see more of Chirinos, which is kind of brutal.
Maybe less. Maybe he's getting all of these breaks, so he can just like grind it out at the end of the year.
Dude, Chirinos is like a black hole in the lineup. And it's not even necessarily like it's his fault, but I feel like the team just suffers so much when he plays. He's just like a black hole on offense. Like, yeah, he can come through sometimes, but I feel like majority of the time he's just...
I understand why he plays.
I mean, he has to, but I feel like for this like last month of the season, I feel like he's got to play like maybe 4 games.
But then we're sacrificing Adley's knees.
Dude, it's a month, and then he has the whole offseason.
Adley's I'm pretty sure he's already like the most games played by a catcher, and he's played less games technically, or he started later.
Are you saying in the entire MLB?
He was already like 3rd. That's why I saw most catchers don't play as much.
That's because the Blue Jays have Kirk and Jansen.
I don't remember the last time I've seen Kirk play catcher against us.
Kirk played catcher yesterday because he got the blocking the plate thing. That is the dumbest rule. I mean, it benefited us.
Was that against Adley?
Yeah. It benefited us, but honestly, I think that's the dumbest rule.
I don't like the rule either. I think the rules too, like the way they did the rule. Like I understood the rule.
It's too discretionary. It's too subjective. There's no clear.
You should not be able to like if you get the ball way before, like if there's a clear gap and then you're just standing there waiting.
Yeah.
That's obviously blocking the plate.
But the ball,
if it's bang bang, like the ball leads you into it, what are you gonna do?
And technically, the ball beat Adley. But honestly, when I saw the replay, he actually looked safe to me. Like it looked like he got his foot in before he got tagged. Anyway, so I didn't really care.
I didn't even watch that far. I was so caught up in the whole fighting.
That was way earlier.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
But
like I said, I was watching the game, and then we went down 3-0.
Dude, Bo Bichette is like insane this series.
Honestly, it's not even like he's insane. He's thrown all of his home runs have been in the exact same spot, like the pitch.
Doesn't matter.
Stop throwing the ball in that spot.
He's eating though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it is
against us.
I mean, we're used to single players eating against us.
I mean, yeah, it was Gleyber Torres before. Now it looks like it's gonna be Bo Bichette.
So if we win tonight, which we have to, in my eyes, we'll be 2.5 back
of the Blue Jays, yes, for the last wild card. And then we got Boston for 3, Washington for 2, and then we go to Toronto for 3.
So we need to make up at least 1 game in that span, in my opinion.
I feel like if we can go 2 out of 3 against Boston and Toronto and sweep Washington in that 2-game set, that would be pretty solid. So that would be.
We're not going to sweep Washington
in 2 games. I mean, they are hot though right now.
It's just I feel like we never sweep Washington. I feel like we always split.
No, we usually actually play pretty well against them. In a 2-game set, I feel like we have a chance to, but we kind of need it because.
Is it raining?
Yeah, I think so. But
like rain.
Washington is hot though. They just like had a good series against San Diego, then against the Mets, and I believe they recently.
You know what's so stupid?
I don't know who they played recently.
The freaking Pirates going out and beating up on the Mets, but they couldn't beat the Blue Jays a single freaking time.
Dude, the Mets are kind of struggling right now. They also lost a series to the Nats too.
So stupid.
But I think so if we can go, what's that? That's 8 games. So if we can go like 6-2 in that span.
I'd be pleased. I don't think it's gonna happen.
If we go 2 out of 3 with Boston, 2 out of 3 with Toronto, and win the 2 games against Washington, I would take that.
Indubitably.
And then the schedule kind of, I mean, we get Detroit, so that should be at least 2 wins. But then we
need 3 at that point.
Houston for 4, then Boston for 4.
That's a break.
New York for 3, then Toronto.
And then the season's over, and no more baseball until next year.
Unless they make playoffs.
No more baseball until next year.
No more regular season.
And then we focus on the Ravens. And only the Ravens.
Dude, you know what we should do?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe next week we should do the Ravens schedule. Like just pick the games.
Yeah, we can. I feel like we could do that on TikTok. We could do the Dancing in the Hamptons song.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I hate that trend so much. You can do that.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I just hate that trend. It's so cringe. And the people who do it are, yes, I'm adding all you TikTokers, all you sport TikTokers.
Oh, sport TikTokers are the worst.
Yeah. And I can say that because I don't make them, but I'm in them. So.
I was about to say, you don't make anything.
I'm in them though, so I can.
Doesn't make anything.
I make my mind.
Go Ravens! Beat the Jets.
If the Ravens lose to the Jets,
Zach will get a cream pie to the face, and that's.
What do you mean by that? you gotta nah, because you're gonna write nah on the screen. I was gonna say you gotta edit
pie on the plate.
You gotta edit Drewski. You gotta edit Drewski in. What do you mean by that?
At least you know that's easy to do.
Okay, then I expect to see that in there.
Like that's it's like all the graphics and stuff that are hard to. It's so easy just to pick a clip and just put it in between something.
You gotta put that like on TikTok. So that's kind of funny. If the Ravens lose to the Jets, Zach will take a cream pie to the face. What do you mean by that? All right, I think that's it for this episode. If you liked it, like the video. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button.
Watch our predictions for week 1.
What he said.
And that's all we have today. Peace.